Hola amigos, hola amigas, Dorian here from Felix. Bienvenido, bienvenue, welcome, assalamu alaikum, croeso. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be looking at a SEBO Felix, but first I have a couple of thank yous. I'd like to thank Rob and Paul for yesterday, for the amazing welcome that we had at theirs and the good times that we have every time we go over there. First I'd like to say a big thank you to George. Jorge, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo te ha ido? ¿Cómo bien? To thank him for this. This is the latest in the line of super economical Electroluxes. It is a cordless machine, it is a bagless machine, and it is a motorless machine. So this one crosses A++++ for this. It doesn't work, so that's why it's energy efficient. So thank you George for this, because I'm going to use it for bits and bobs and parts, so it's not going to go to waste. It is going to be a donor machine. It carries its donor card and it'll be used for bits and bobs for other machines that I have. Chris and Philip, you should be on your way home, or should be home by now. Very nice to meet you guys as well. It was fantastic to catch up with you and meet you. And thank you very much for my ultra modern cordless, bagless, energy efficient Electrolux. Here we have here. No suction on it. Anyway, this isn't. I'm just going to pop this to one side. And today's is about this. So, as you've seen in a previous video, I bought this and the electric cable wasn't working. The switch was knackered on it, so that wasn't any good. The base on it works fine, and I've connected it up so that it just runs. As soon as I plug the plug in, it starts. So I was going to make a mod, and where is it? Oh, it's there. Oh, here it is. And I bought a switch, like a Henry style switch, so that I could make a mod on the handle, so I could switch it on and off on this. But on eBay, this popped up for like 20 quid, which was everything but the base. So I haven't unwrapped it yet. This only came today. So hopefully I'll be able to make a decision on what I do with it, on whether I just use this and refurb this part of the machine with the base that I have, the power head. Oh my god. This is, oh my god. There's that. Oh jeez. It is absolutely stinking. Ugh. Okay, let me check the box over there. Boom. Oh my god, it's filthy. It's absolutely filthy. Right, before I do anything, I'm just going to get a wet wipe, and I'm going to run a wet wipe over the cord. I'm going to have to clean this in parts. Well, if you could see this, this is absolutely covered in dust. So this is the body that I've received of this SEBO. And honestly, the camera does it no justice. I'm going to have to get Henry. Poor Henry. if I open this, it weighs a ton. It weighs a ton because this bag... Why don't you just take the bag out of it, man? That's absolutely full. Oh shit, I just dropped it on the floor. Oh, never mind. Luckily the vacuum is so good that most of it is contained to the bag. So let me just give the inside a clean up. Now the reason I'm hoping this part works is because it's got a more modern control on it for height adjustment on the handle. There we go. It's got the more modern on and off control on it with variable power, whereas the one I have there is more of an early one. It doesn't have any of this, but I need to determine whether I should use the handle on this on that body or this body and refurb this body and just put the piece on. So I need to test if this works. So I'm gonna get a bag. Let me just get a bag for this a second. Okay, I've got a bag here. Let me just pop the bag in. I'm doing this the wrong way around. Right, the bag is in, the machine is off. Let me plug it in. And let me test it. Oh, sugar. Well, that sounds really, really good, even though it looks a bit of a mess. It sounds really good. So the only thing I need to now to do is to test whether the connections down here will work on the head of this one. So let me disconnect. There we go. I'm also gonna have to take the hose off it. Pop the hose on. Pop the handle on. There we go, pop the head on. Right, okay. Switch it on. Houston, we have liftoff. Okay, so technically I have a fully working operational Felix. So I'm going to stick with this machine as it is, with the working handle and the working base, but I'm going to do my refurb on this. So let's take it apart. Unplug it first of all. So I'm going to concentrate first of all on this. Let me put you back down. So the first thing I'm going to do is to remove this brush roll, because I have a new one for it. So I'll take the old brush roll out. And I need to get myself, let me give it a dust hoover first. Right. It looks like they'd vacuumed up at some point something which was a bit wet, or moist. That's what it looks like. From the dust that's in there, that's kind of like stuck to it. Peoples, don't vacuum up things which are wet. Simples. Right, let me go and get my bucket and some clean warm water. Okay, so I have the cloths ready, and I saw in Pound Shop some of this amazing baking soda. So I'm going to sprinkle some on this cloth, and I'm going to try it on this, and it should help get the muck off. Obviously it's not scientific, so I can't tell whether it was actually just the cloth itself that helped to clean it, but still, every little helps. So I hope you've all had a very good bank holiday weekend. The weather was absolutely amazing. It just got better and better as the weekend went on. So I had family come up from Swansea to visit. So I'm planning a trip to go down there, hopefully in November time, if I can set a date. Right, let's get to another cloth because that one's filthy. I bought another pack of the sponge erasers when I was in the pound shop as well, because they are very good, so I'm going to get that in a second. I thought I had one behind me, but I don't. So the grime is coming off this really well. You can't really see on the camera. There's a lot of scratches in it. Right. I'm gonna go get my magic eraser. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop you on pause. And when you come back to me now, this will be nice and clean. Although it looks nice and clean up close, it does need a good going over. I will be careful on this not to take the words off. So, see you in a second. Okay, so I've cleaned the head up. That is now nice and clean and shiny and polished, and the inside. So I'm going to put a tiny little bit of grease down here where the brush roll goes, and I'm also going to put a tiny little bit of grease here in the bearings where the brush roll goes that end. And very easy, as you know, as you've seen a gazillion times, just slide the brush roll in as far as it'll go, pop in the end cap, which I'm having difficulty in putting in. Go on, Dorian, what you doing wrong? Why am I doing that? Oh, there we go, I'm putting it in too far. There we go. So that has a new brush roll on it. Dropped it. And it is now nice and clean and tidy. So the next part I'm going to be working on is the body. There's the brush roll bags. So I'm just going to pop this to one side. And now we're going to concentrate on the main body to get my guts in there. Okay, so we are back to this. I've had my cup of tea. So I'm going to take this hose off because I've cleaned this hose. This is from the other one. So to take off the hose, you have to open it up. There's a clip on the inside which allows you to release the hose. So that's the hose removed. I'm going to take out the bag that I just put in. I need to take off this filter. So there's two straps. come off, and then on the back of it the filter just pulls out. Oh, it's stinking. The filter's completely clogged on it. That is white, but it's black because it's full of the carbon dust and also other dust as well, so that can go in the bin. Now the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything is to wipe this over on the outside, because that also is full of carbon dust and full of dust. Now if I use my cloth straight away, that's going to go black, so what I'm going to do is just use a couple of wet wipes to get the worst off. Actually, the carbon dust is actually sticking to it. Manky, let me shut this. There's a safety feature on it. There we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use some of my baking powder. Cleaner. And yeah, that's getting a lot of the grime off. I guess you could use Jif on this as well. Right, so it's going to take me a little while to get all of this clean, so I'll pop you on pause and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've got the bottom part. So from here down, all of this is nice and clean. I used the magic eraser to get all the black and carbon dust off the plastic, so that came off really easy. So the inside of it just needs a wipe out. It's not that bad, to be honest, considering what the bag condition was. So I'm just going to pull out this internal filter. Now if I have a look down there, yeah, there is a little bit of gunk. I'll use the Henry with the long tool on it, so I'll go and do that. I'll give the inside of it a wipe over, and this part, and the handle, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so the inside and the outside of this and the cable and everything is all spotlessly clean. Looking very good. So I have a new internal filter that I'm going to pop in to the bottom. Sorry, you can't see this. There we are. So that's the new filter popped into the bottom. I'm going to put the bag in now because I need to shut it so I can clean the outside of it. So I'm just going to pop the bag on. This is a little bit fiddly sometimes, once you know what you're doing. Oh, for God's sake. Right, okay, there we go. So I'm going to, oh actually, I tell you what I'm going to do. The spring here. I don't want the spring ever to dry out, so just going to put a little dab of grease on that spring to keep it. There's a little spring on the inside there. Okay, so there we got the lid closed. Okay, so I got the bag inserted. Yeah. When I looked at it from the inside, then it didn't look like I had the bag in properly, but I did. Okay, that's the bag. I'm just going to use some scratches on there. So I'm just going to use my magic eraser. Where did I put it? Here. So I'll just wet it a bit. Some marks on the top of this. That will benefit. From the magic eraser. I mean, the thing about it is, the guy who was selling this, he sells other parts as well. He's down there. I have half a mealer missing the handle, the hose and the cord, but I paid like 20 quid for it. So yeah, it was in a really stinky, grotty condition, but it was only like £21. Buy it now, get rid of. You know, if he'd have cleaned it up and done all this, then obviously the part would have been like 3 times, you know, or at least double of what I paid for it. So I don't mind doing the back leg of work myself if I can save over half of what I would have paid. I mean, this is the handle, the hose, the body, the motor. It's all working fine. It was just absolutely filthy. So I'd rather put the work into cleaning it up myself, but then not paying much money for it. So I can't blame the seller, and I gave him full 5 stars and full rating because that's the way he sold it. Cheap, you clean it. So I think we are getting somewhere. So I'm just going to dry this top part off. It's going to be easier for me to polish this clean once it's all back, or majority of it's back together. Right, we are practically there. Next, I decided to make it funky, so I've gotten for this really nice funky orange and blue. See, that's what they look like, clean. So I've gone for this lovely orange one. So what I need to do is, according to this, you fit in one side. I don't think it matters which way it goes around. And just pull it tight. And tuck it in. Seems to go into the same gap. Wow, that looks really cool. That looks absolutely amazing. I love that. What do you think, guys? Does that look good? A lot better than what it was before. So what I need to do now is to get the straps on it, these 2 straps. So I'm going to give these a wipe over. Just to get the muck off them. There we go. And pop these babies back on. Slide it around there, so it's hidden. And the next one. I've been really looking forward to getting this done and dusted and finished. There we go. That looks really good. Let me get the head. Prop you up. Wow, I love that. That is really funky. That looks really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it on. Let's give it a go. I can find the end of the whole cable. And I've got, prop you up even further, I've got the hose. How's that? That looks really good. Love it. Let's switch it on. Fantastic. One SEBO Felix back up and running. I can't stop touching it. It's lovely. Yeah, no, that looks really good. So what I'm going to do is I got the tools. I got this came off it. So I'm going to put this back on with the tools that I bought for the other one, and we will give it a quick demo. Okay, so very briefly before I do the quick demo, I'm gonna stick this on eBay for 20 quid plus postage because the motor in it is absolutely fine and the inside of it's fine. The motor and everything, it needs a new filter, needs a new external filter, it'll need a hose. That's the rating sticker on it for you to see. So yeah, so I'm going to pop this on eBay for 20 quid. This doesn't work on it, needs a new cord on the inside of it and a new switch, but again the motor on it, there's nothing wrong with it, so it'll be good enough for parts if somebody wants parts for it. So I'm going to pop this on eBay tonight, and I'll stick it on the forum if anyone's interested in it. So let's crack on with the demo. So I've just popped down some of my regular mess, so there's Millie again. So I've just popped down some porridge oats, and there was a bit of dust in that bag from when I took this off. So let's give this a go. something has got to be said for a vacuum cleaner that can leave track marks in the cheapest possible carpet you could buy. So yes, that is definitely fantastic. Absolutely chuffed with it. So there we go. So that is my SEBO Felix, up and done, cleaned, polished, ready to tell another tale. Now there's a different sticker on this because it's a different vac from the other one. So SEBO Felix 1, serial number V7701586, 1175, max 1300 watts, Stein & Co, blah blah blah, made in Germany. So there we go. I'm very glad that this is now up and running. One thing I need to do, actually, I haven't tested, is the bag full indicator. Let's have a look. If I switch it on. Yeah, that's working really well. It was the last thing I hadn't tested, actually. Okay, let's move it out of the way. Bit of a Sam Watson there. So there we go. So there's my SEBO Felix. So like I said, all up and running. I've really enjoyed working on this. It's a really, really good vacuum. I'm really pleased with it. So a big shout out to Rob and Paul, Jorge, George, and Chris and Philip. I hope you guys had a safe journey back by now. And it was awesome to meet you all yesterday. Very, very nice. Any questions or anything you want, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help. It's a shame I don't know nothing about washing machines apart from using them. But it was very impressive to watch you guys working yesterday and getting that old machine of Paul's back up and running. That was very impressive. Big shout out as well to Sam Watson. Hope you're well. And to Roger and Steve and everybody else, and thank you so much for your support in what I do. I genuinely really appreciate it, and thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and from me and the doggies, over there, come over, Millie, come here, Millie, come here, come and say hello, come on, Zach, come and say hello. There we go. So from me and the doggies, I'd like to say a big thank you, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.